NAVARRE from Arena Collective.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, hello. There's lots of y'all in here.
I don't want my notes.
I can read yours too then. I honestly love when coincidences work out, and I did talk to Desi when she was in the bed and kind of dealing with her issues, and maybe that's what spurred the idea of what I wanted to talk about today. So it goes hand in hand with what you told us this morning, and I just love the way that works out. But I want to start off with a question for all of you. So similar to Desi, have any of you had a traumatic experience that was so intense that truly changed your personal perspective? So my husband and I, we spend a good deal of time on a particular quote, several, but this particular one, that says, with the right perspective, every experience is an opportunity for edification. Condemn nothing. And we're all here today because we all have a growth mindset, right? I can feel it, our energy, our vibe. We're hustlers, we're grinders. We understand growth, we know growth. So I would imagine that most of you agree with that quote, right? We're gonna condemn nothing. We're gonna take that as an opportunity for growth. And in fact, I think most people would agree to that quote as well, when things are going well. But what about when things take a shift, right? What about when the industry turns? The economy takes a dip, that next big deal that you're working on falls through, right? Your cash flow takes a hit, or worse, you have a rift in your family. Those are the moments that we're challenged. Or maybe you're really stubborn like me, and that's not enough, right? And you find yourself 31 years old in a hospital bed, handwriting life instructions to your daughters, right? That's the perspective that I needed. I find myself incredibly blessed with a traumatic experience that was able to change my life perspective. And so 3 weeks after my youngest daughter, I have two daughters, 11 and 7 now, but when she was 3 weeks old, I was rushed to the hospital. And what they discovered was I had a clot that was in my left ankle all the way up through my left hip. And then I had hundreds of pulmonary embolisms, and 3 of them that were very, very sizable that had passed through my heart into my lungs. So the doctors were really perplexed. They didn't understand the size of the clot. I was essentially bedridden because they were so worried that if I moved around, other pieces were gonna come off, cause more heart attacks, or worse, a stroke, right? But luckily, we had 2 brave doctors. They took my case. They tried a procedure that they hadn't tried before. And so with a couple of stents, a little filter to my heart, a lot of follow-up appointments and scans for the rest of my life, but I get to be here with you all today. And more importantly, I get to give those instructions to my daughters, because we all know my husband wasn't gonna do that right, no matter what I wrote down. I've been married for 16 years, y'all. He still doesn't listen. Lots of good training, but he still isn't listening, right? And so what did that experience bring? What perspective did that bring? And for me, and for Des, it was that I needed to find balance, right? And for women like us, balance is hard. And by women like us, I'm talking about moms, entrepreneurs, grinders, hustlers, wives, right? It's hard. It's not running a mile hard on the treadmill. It's not 5 a.m. spin class hard. It's marathon hard. It's triathlon hard. It's on my knees at night, tears in my eyes, praying hard, right? Who's been there? Y'all better raise your hand. Don't leave me up here alone. And so from that moment, I realized I needed to put in the work, right? I need to work on myself to figure out what that entailed. And I discovered 2 very simple things for my unique balance. And that is being your authentic self and living your priorities, right? There's no specific formula. We represent a lot of businesses, and entrepreneurs ask me that all the time. I help build a system for their business, so build a system for my life. I can't do that for you. But if you do these 2 things, you will find your own unique balance, right? So how can we be our authentic selves? It's much easier said than done. but I believe it starts with awareness, right? And one of our biggest problems as humans is we simply do not see ourselves accurately. Everybody's got that inner toddler that's running around telling yourself, you do no wrong. You're a victim of the circumstance, girl. You're right, they're wrong, right? We're not truly evaluating who we are as a person and what our reactions are. Has anybody here ever taken a personality assessment before? My team better raise their hand. They know they have. Y'all, first time I read mine, I had to take a seat. I was like, this thing is rough. I'm intense. I'm crazy. I mean, I knew it, but it was really crazy on paper, reading it. I mean, I joke, I'm like, this document told me things that my best friend won't tell me when we're in a fight, right? It's that intense. But what that did, that allowed me to challenge who I am as a person and become a better person. It allowed me to question, how can I be a better communicator? How can I be a better wife, a better mother, a better business partner? We all need that self-evaluation. So if you did not raise your hand, I'm challenging you to do that today, right? Find a personality assessment, start working on who you really are as a person and what those triggers are. And more importantly, I wound up finding that self-awareness helps us consider our reactions. Because at the end of the day, what reactions can we control? Our own. That's it. Not your husband. Lord knows I tried. Talked about that earlier. Right? Not my partner. Not my best friend. Not my mother. I'm in control of my reactions. And so focus your energy on what's in your control. Because any energy that you're spending elsewhere outside of your control is energy that's wasted. Who has more energy? We don't have more energy. That excess isn't there. So focus on the things that are within your control. My husband and I have quotes around our house. I think we hope through osmosis it's going to soak into our daughters, right? But one of them is kind of cute and simple, and it's, mind your biscuits and life will be gravy. So ladies, watch your biscuits. Don't let them burn. It's that simple. Focus on you. And then start to learn your triggers. So those stressful moments that trigger you, that's what causes you to be off balance, right? So ask yourself, am I in control? Am I recognizing my pattern of behavior? And a good personality assessment will provide that for you. It'll walk you through the steps of the things that trigger you. And trust me, it's a work in progress. Literally last week, I threatened to burn my daughter's volleyball and swim clothes on our dock because she didn't get her AR points. So it's a challenge, right? But it's something that we're always working on, and pray for my kids. And then second, like I said, we need to live our priorities. And here's the key to that. You have to live your priorities unapologetically, truly understanding what those priorities are. And what does that look like to live your priorities? Take ownership of your schedule. Take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your happiness. And let's spend a little time on happiness. Who's in control of your happiness? You. Again, you. And my husband is so quick to remind me, happiness is an inside job. You can't place your burden of happiness on me. And he does it really well and very nicely. He's cute, so it works. But the key to it is it works both ways, ladies. So you get to do the same thing to your team, to your partner, to your business partners. They can't place that burden, and you can't accept that burden for their happiness as well. Focus the energy on you, then you will be there for them. And we always have to remember that happiness is a choice. I'm a lawyer. People don't call me with good stuff. Sometimes. But most of the time, they're stressed. There's a problem. There's a legal issue. Their business is disrupted. How can you help me? They're stressed out. And when I'm on the phone with them and they're crying, I remind them, do you choose this profession? And y'all can go ahead and audit your own life right now. Do you choose this profession? Do you choose to be a business owner? Yes. Then let's choose to have grace and to go through this process peacefully. And when you do that, you're going to make better decisions for your business. And then also, why are priorities important? Because time is limited. When you have that near-death experience, you understand time is limited. When you've lost how many family members this year in our family, you're reminded that time is limited. So it's those moments when you're doing things that aren't your priorities that have you the most stressed out and off balance. Do I have any moms here? I heard y'all laughing before it does, so I know we got a few. Is there anything worse than mom guilt? No, it's terrible. Why? Our families are our priority. And so we hate if we have to let our children down, right? But the key is, are you communicating your priorities with the people in your circle? And so we started this thing with my kids because I was feeling like I was missing so much. And I'm an operating mind, I'm a COO, so I'm like, I have to put a process in place for this because I'm stressed out. So I sit down with my kids every Sunday because they got me running around town, y'all. Volleyball, swim, they're crazy. I got lots of friends. I kind of hope people don't like them. We got so much to do. But we sit down on Sunday and we look at it. And I wound up realizing there's so many things that they don't care about, that I was stressing out, that I was missing. And so we rate it. It's a scale of 1 to 10. If it's on the bottom portion, I ask if one of my family members can go. Thank you, Gramsci. She shows up often. If it's in the middle, Dad can usually go. His schedule's a little bit easier than mine. But if it's at the top and it's important to them, I don't miss it. And so it doesn't eliminate mom guilt, but it significantly helped, right? And so the point is, are you communicating that? And are you allowing the people that you care about communicate their priorities to you so that burden is lifted? And guess what? When you start understanding yourself and living your priorities, you start to care less about the opinions of people that are outside of those priorities. Now, most of you in the room, because my husband will say time to time, like, I ain't worried about other people's opinions. Lies, right? I think it's important that we acknowledge it, that we acknowledge how that impacts our emotions, our reactions, and our decisions. So know your triggers and be very intentional with the people that trigger those things for you. Another thing I want you to do, Des already pointed it out, lean on your resources. Take a look around. Look at the people at your table. Look at the people that are sitting across the room. Right? We are each other's resources. Strength in numbers. Collaboration over competition. It's important that we have one another to lean on. And for us mamas, we always say it, right? It takes a village. Use your village. And me personally, I'm unbelievably blessed for my daughters to have so many different examples. Because people come to me all the time. And like, are you so worried about your kids seeing you work so much? Because they think my balance is crazy. I don't mind, because again, unapologetically, that's my balance, not yours. And so I can confidently look at them and say, no, I'm excited for them to see how much I work. Because they also see my sister-in-law, who lives next door, that works part-time and lives a fulfilled life. And they see my many friends that are stay-at-home moms killing it. And so they see all these options, and I'm just doing my part as part of the bigger picture. That's why I'm comfortable with that. Pick your squad. Pick the people that help you grow. I have some really close friends. They have no counseling training, no psychological training. I don't pay them. But they're invaluable to me because they call me out on my shit. It's important. Have a good squad. Because the most successful people in the world are resourceful. They don't try to be everything for everyone. They try to lead people in the right directions with the gifts that they've been given. And then they surround themselves with people that fill in those holes. And then last, I want you to have faith. So have faith in your higher power. I know my guy, he's always there for me. I just sometimes don't see it. And I remember hearing it very plainly. I was getting the sacrament of anointing of the sick. And Father politely told me that your anxiety is a lack of faith. And y'all, that hit me like a ton of bricks. And it took me a really long time to work through that and remove those bricks off my chest. Have faith in yourself. I think that's one we understand. There's a lot of entrepreneurs in here, right? We had to take that leap of faith. But I challenge you to continue to count your wins because those wins are building confidence. And then last, again, fitting in nicely, have faith in your team. As strong women, we like to control things. And certain personality types, call me if yours says this, you think you're that needed, and you think you need to control it, right? And so whenever you're stressed out, truly evaluate, is my team underperforming, or is it just my control that's at issue? And I heard you laugh, Becky. So do those two things for me, right? Be your authentic self and live your priorities. And then you will find that true balance. And then since we're in a room of women, mostly women, Jonah, close your ears. Y'all are beautiful, and your butt looks great today. Stay positive.